We have traversed the European continent, from Italy to Belgium, Spain to France, just a week ago in Finland, and now we find ourselves in Scandinavia. Hello and welcome to Sweden, Kristianstad, in fact, for this, the sixth and final round of the CIK FIA European Championships for 2017. Hello, my name is Ian Sylvester and I am delighted to bring you live coverage of this, the championship decider, on a very wet circuit here at Kristianstad. The KZ Karts are out on the circuit. They are ready for their final. The title has already been decided. However, we've got one race for the drivers to stop Paolo Di Canto, making it 4 from 4. Before we get underway with the first race, even though the track is very wet, we'll go on board with the reigning world champion, the newly crowned European champion, Paolo Di Canto, for a lap of this Kristianstad circuit here in Sweden. What a ride with the newly crowned European champion, Paolo Di Canto. He officially took the title when he crossed the line to start the first heat yesterday. Of course, he's won the opening 3 rounds of the series, but he did not set a lap in qualifying. Had to come from the back of the grid. And he starts this one in grid number 4, kart number 4. Fastest qualifier is the driver to the right, to the left of your screen, the right of the grid, Moraine Kramers. Second pole in a row. The title has already been decided. It is a small, but it is a super classy field. The KZ Championship final race. As I say, Paolo Di Canto has already wrapped up the first 3. As the flag flies green, there is Moraine Kramers pushed into life. Will Paolo Di Canto make it 4 from 4, or will another driver stand on the top step of the podium? Di Canto already the champion. The track is very different to when they raced the final heat earlier on this morning. And of course, this is the last hit out before the KZ World Championships at Wackersdorf in southern Germany on September 10, 6 weeks' time. But there is a European Championship race to be decided here this afternoon. The heats were just brilliant. As I say, a small but classy field. Kramers took the first and third heats. The driver from the Czech Republic, Patrick Hayek, in the Cosmic Kart, who will start on the outside of the front row. He took the second heat. This is the grid. Kramers and Hayek, Lammers and the newly crowned European champion. That is his third title. Paolo Di Canto in the second row. All Dutch third row. Stan and Jorrit Pex. Luca Corberti, the Salt Tony Kart here this weekend with Marco Ardigol still out due to injury. He's alongside Simo Puhaka. The Formula K karts on the 5th row of the grid. Jeremy Iglesias and Gary Carlton. And Jan Kobe from Finland in the 21 Tony Kart on grid number 11. The Render Motorsport entry. Moraine Kramers' second pole in a row, and he was very quick to remind us that he only missed out on pole at the opening round in Genk as well by just 0.004 of a second. He has been quick. Flying the flag for the manufacturer from Lissone in Milan, northern Italy. The number 20 Birol Art. He will be joined by Ronnie Quintarelli Nissan Super GT Super Formula driver from Japan for the KZ World Championships. We'll speak about that and other drivers that'll make this a full grid in 6 weeks' time. The final hit out for the KZ World Championships. The last round of the Euro Champs. Can Kramers convert his pole position into a European Championship win? Or will Paolo Di Conto make it 4 from 4 on the circuit where he won the World Championship in 2016? We did have a reasonably heavy downfall during the driver's presentation about an hour ago. The rain has stopped, but as you can see, the track is super wet. It's almost like watching Drift GP here at Kristianstad. Bridgestone wet tyres. Kramers pulls into pole position. The left of your screen, the number 2 Cosmic Kart, Patrick Hayek on the outside of the front row. This is a 25-lap, 30-kilometre final, the front row of the grid. We go green here in Sweden, but Kramers has missed the jump. Hayek from the outside of the front row of the grid leads the field down into turn number 2 and 3. Oh, he's sideways on the exit. Massive opposite lock correction. Lemmers has made a good start. He's up into second. Kramers back to fourth. They come up over the rise for the first time. The Cosmic leads the Sodi Kart. And the first of the CRGs, that is Di Conto, in position number 3. Down into the hairpin very cautiously for the first time. This track is soaking wet. This is lap 1 of 25, the European Championship final here at Kristianstad in Sweden. Hayek, Lammers, Di Conto, then we go back to Kramers. Good start by Luca Corberi, the Italian in the Tony Kart, one of only 2 green machines from Prevale. Racing in this final here today, of course, with Marco Ardigo, the reigning European champion. Out due to injury, he is here at the track. He will be back for the KZ World Championships. There is his teammate, Luca Corberi, going through in P5. So they've completed the first lap. There is Di Conto. Officially claimed the 2017 European Championship yesterday by virtue of completing the first racing lap of the first heat. Of course, he didn't set a time in qualifying. You wouldn't believe why. The team actually missed the gate going into Parc Ferme. The gate was shut and Di Conto was locked out. No qualifying time. And he had to start all 3 heats from the back of this small grid. But he came charging through into the top 3 on each occasion. He's currently in position number 3 behind Bas Lammers, the Dutch driver, who was notoriously quick in the wet. He's holding down P2, but it doesn't matter if it's wet or dry. Di Conto is just magic in the last 12 months. Lammers looks behind him. Di Conto wipes the visor clear, treacherous conditions. Corberi turns in early. Let the Tony Kart drift on the exit. Closes up, in fact, behind Kramers. This is Lammers. The Dutch drivers running 2nd, 4th, and 8th with Lammers, Kramers, also Jorrit Pex in 6th, Stan Pex in 8th, so 4 Dutch drivers in this one. Coming from a traditionally very strong karting nation where, ironically, we haven't had a round of the European Championships for near on a couple of decades now. Lammers in 2nd, still holds off the challenge of Paolo Di Conto. They're lapping over 1 minute, 1 minute 1.4 for Patrick Hayek, who is the race leader and the fastest driver on the track and the only driver that's got a clear visor. Di Conto can barely see a thing. He tries the outside of Lammers, the high line for the Italian. He'll get the run on the exit through the chicane. Of course, he's one of the taller drivers in the field, along with Luca Corberi. It will be of slight assistance in the rain. Of course, all these teams crack professional racing outfits. They know how to set a kart up for the wet. So Lammers, 2nd place at the moment. The race leader, Patrick Hayek. who won the third and fourth rounds of the WSK Supermaster Series earlier in the year at La Conca Murolatese World Circuit, and then at Sarno 2 weeks later. It was a good start for the driver from the Czech Republic. He was joined by Simo Puhaka from Finland. In the purple team, the Cosmic Racing Department, run by Olivier Marichal. There is Moraine Kramers going through. So Puhaka and Hayek, the two Cosmic pilots, running first and seventh. Of course, Puhaka taking pole for the first round of the series at Sarno in Italy. As Lemmers just starts to pull away a little bit. We go back to Kramers, a long way back, holding off the challenge of Corberi, who himself has to fend off the challenge of Jorit Pex and Simo Puhaka. Lemmers, two-time World Cup champion, 2010, 2012, racing for Kart, of course, on this very circuit. Kart finished second last year in the World Championships with Anthony Abbas. You will recall the Spanish round of the series at Oviedo in northern Spain. Abbas's teammate, Anthony Abbas, who is watching on live. Good afternoon to you, Anthony. We can't wait to see you back for the KZ World Championships, September 10 at Wackersdorf. Anthony was injured with a shoulder dislocation, a low speed but very nasty accident. Anthony did finish second at this race, KZ World Championships. Kart, they are desperate to win the World Championship. They have not won the world title since David Terrien at Laval way back in 1993. Bas Lemmers flying the flag for the French manufacturer. De Conto settled down in P3. And now fighting the CRG kart around the circuit. He has been magic since he won the world title. We have to go back to Le Mans 2015, where he led the entire final, was passed on that sensational last lap by Jorit Pex, the Dutchman who took the world championship at Le Mans. Paolo De Conto didn't smile for virtually a year. He came back and won the world championship here at Kristianstad in September of last year. And since then, everything he has touched has turned to gold. He won the Race of Stars in Australia. He won the Las Vegas Supernats. He won in Mexico to start the year. He's won the first 3 rounds of the European Championship. He already wrapped up the KZ Euro title before we landed here in Sweden. He's a different person compared to when we saw him second on the podium at Le Mans. Smile on his face, and why wouldn't he? That number 4 CRG is super quick everywhere he goes. He's still got time to make it 4 from 4. Patrick Hayek and Bas Lemmers, they'll try and stop that happening. De Conto from Treviso in northern Italy, just outside of Venice. European champion already twice, back in 2010, 2011. Second in the World Championships, as I mentioned, at Le Mans in 2015. And this is the circuit where CRG dominated last year's World Championship. Of course, they won the KZ2 International Super Cup. Not only that, they finished first, second, third and fourth. Pedro Hilbrand taking that title. We will see him in action later this afternoon as he attempts to make it 2 years in a row in the OK Direct Drive class. Focus in on Patrick Hayek. Looking good for a win here this afternoon. This is 1/3 race distance, just under. He wrestles the number 2 Cosmic Kart around this 1,221 metre circuit. Again, De Conto wipes the visor, tries to get some visibility. Going down through turn number 1. In the dry, these karts were doing 141 kilometres an hour. Nowhere near that in these wet conditions. They're barely going under the 1 minute time, the 1 minute lap. In fact, the best is 1:03 by the race leader, Patrick Hayek, the only driver with any sort of visibility. So DeConto holds down P3. It is a long way back to positions 4, 5, 6 and 7. In fact, 9 seconds further back down the road is the pole sitter. Here are the leaders coming through. Hayek, Lammers, DeConto. The driver from the Czech Republic, Holland and Italy. We wait. They didn't even come into shot. Kramer's from pole just comes across the line now. They are now 10.8 seconds behind, and it's not even a fight for the podium. There is 4th through to 7th and 8th. Kramer's holding off Corberi, Puhaka, Jorid Pex. He was up into 4th earlier on. The 2015 world champion has dropped back a bit. This is a great battle for the step 1 off the podium. Corberi actually gives a little kiss there to the back of the Dutchman, Marijn Kremers in the Birrell Art from pole. He wanted to win here this afternoon, sideways on the exit. If anything happens to the leaders, one of these drivers will climb up onto the podium. They are 10 seconds further back down the road, and DeConto has just done the fastest first sector of the entire race. Kramer's from pole position, remember. Wheel spin off the start. A good start by Corberi. That's put him into 5th. They come onto the straight now. Kramer's looks behind. Corberi tries the outside line. There's Simo. Puhaka goes through on the Tony Kart. Nicely done by the Finn. Slides the Cosmic through the chicane. Jorid Pex closes up a little bit. This gives some hope also to the Formula K karts that was super quick in the dry. Jeremy Iglesias and Gary Carlton. But they're not finding the wet conditions to their liking. Kramer still holds off. Puhaka to Finn in the Cosmic Kart. The purple machines are running 1 and 5. Oh, they're 3 wide on the exit. Kramer's still holds them off. Corberi down the inside, touches the back of the Birrell Art. Side by side, watch Jorid Pex. Jeremy Iglesias goes through the Frenchman. Jeremy the Jet picks up another position. This is for the battle off the podium, but it's great to watch here in the rain at Kristianstad in Sweden. Kramer's, Corberi, Puhaka, Jorid Pex, Jeremy the Jet Iglesias. They're going to be side by side coming onto the straight. Corberi looks behind him. Puhaka up the inside. Puhaka will go in deep. Oh, around the outside goes the CRG of Jorid Pex. He's picked up at least one of them. Sits in front of the Tony Kart there of Corberi. That gave Kramer some breathing space. He certainly does have time. There's still 14 laps remaining in this one. Gary Carlton from California in the USA closes up behind his teammate Iglesias. Great racing further back in the field in these treacherous conditions here at Kristianstad in Sweden. The final round of the KZ Euro Champs, Paulo DeConto, has already wrapped up this year's title. He runs in P3. This is the battle for one step off the podium. Iglesias and Carlton. Iglesias, winner of the Winter Cup at Lonato earlier in the season. He showed great speed, great promise, but just lacking that sort of 10th of a second when he needs it later on in the race, it would seem. This is half race distance now. Kramer's in the Birrell Art. Raced with Patrizi course in 2016 in the land down under. How many times he made that treacherous journey to the other side of the planet. Stepped up to KZ, 2 pole positions, 2 heat wins here this weekend. The young kid that many have ranked as a star, and he's certainly showing it. He will be in contention for the KZ World Championship at Wackersdorf in Germany on September 10, where he will be joined not only by the likes of Japanese Nissan Super GT Super Formula driver Ronnie Quintarelli. Also, we've just learned that Joey Hansen, the 2011 World Cup winner, will be back to race with CRG Holland. Jordan Lennox-Lamb, the former World Cup champion, he will also be returning to the steering wheel. So 2 former World Cup champions in Joey Hansen and Jordan Lennox-Lamb. We will see on the grid at Wackersdorf for the September 10 World Championships. Not to mention Ronnie Quintarelli, who's made a decent living for himself over in the land of the rising sun, racing Super Formula and Super GT with Nissan. Desperate to go one better than 1999 when he came within 2 corners of winning the Formula Super A World Championship. If you want to see a sensational end to a race, look that one up on YouTube. Quintarelli wants to go one better in 6 weeks' time. He was actually testing at Lonato just last week, and he will join Kramers in the Virillar team, who, of course, drafted in Rubens Barrichello to race for them at this event last year. The World Championships that were held at this circuit at least last year. As we go back to the front, this is the race leader, Patrick Hayek. Lemmers in the number 8 Soddy Kart. They have dropped off to Conto. This is the first time Conto hasn't just walked up and passed a kart in front of him virtually all season. He is in third. He's 1.6 seconds further back. We have to wait 16 seconds for the battle between Kramers, Pex, Puhaka, Corberi, Iglesias and Carlton. Unfortunately, Stan Pex has retired from this one, as has the Finn, Jan Kobe, in the second Tony kart, run by Render Motorsport. So we are down to the final 9 here, with 10 laps now remaining. Hayek looks behind him. Lemmers wants to win here, second year with the Soddy Kart team. Of course, he picked up the WSK Supermasters Series earlier in the year. He was delighted with that. He's had a reasonable European Championship, but as a 2-time former World Cup champion, 2010, 2012, he desperately wants to improve. A win here this afternoon will do his confidence the world of good. Not that the Dutchman needs it, but he wants to go into Wackersdorf in fine form. The rain has eased up, but the track is very, very wet. Obviously, the weather forecasters in Sweden are an optimistic type because they were suggesting sunshine at 25 degrees this afternoon. The chances of that happening, let's say, quite unlikely. 9 laps now to go for the driver from the Czech Republic, Patrick Hayek. Lemmers has dropped off a little bit that time. Ooh, half a second. Hayek put on the Dutchman last time round. 9 laps now remain. The final round of the KZ European Championship here at Kristianstad in Sweden. Of course, we raced just 7 days ago at the Power Park Alahama circuit in Finland. What a sensational event that was. The double header here in Scandinavia. Kristianstad Karting Club, which in 2016 celebrated 50 years of racing. This is their 51st year of operation. Super organised, super professional club. It's great to be here back in southern Sweden for the European Championship deciding round for 2017. Hayek winds it down with 8 laps now to go. He's got 0.7 of a second between himself and the Dutchman Bas Lemmers. De Conto, he is the 2017 European champion, having won the title at the last round at Oviedo in Spain. 2010, 2011, he also won the European title. That was with the Energy Course team. A highlight of his career. Although he'd probably suggest to you when he was racing with Mick Panagata of Energy Course, the highlight was being the only driver in the world, I believe, to lap the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife, in a KZ kart. The year that he won that KZ title. He's running third now. He's the 2017 Euro champ elect. He's the reigning world champion, having won that title on this very circuit. And he's looking good to make it 2 World Championships in a row when we go to Wackersdorf in Germany on September 10. Hayek still continues to lead, fastest second sector of the race last time for the Cosmic Pilot. The gap is out to 0.8 of a second. There's De Conto, third step of the podium at the moment. This will be the first time he hasn't won a round of the European Series in 2017. Mind you, third on the podium is not a bad result for the Italian as well. here in Sweden for the European Championship final. Of course, Sweden with a long and distinguished history in motorsport. It was actually 30 years ago, almost to the day, in 1987, at the circuit in Gothenburg, where Michael Schumacher, on the very last lap, passed Massimiliano Orsini, or Max Orsini, and also Alex Zanardi, and became the European champion in the 100cc class. That was 30 years ago, after Michael finished third the prior year. That was in Gothenburg, of course. The same circuit hosted the 93 ICA European Championships, the race won by Narcissus Cullens in the BS Kart on that occasion. And in recent years, we've come to the south of the country to this, the 1,221 metre Kristianstad Karting Club. For the first time in 2014, after many, many years, as the drivers around the final few corners. That is the original part of the circuit. It was much shorter back in the day when the Kristianstad Karting Club commenced over half a century ago now. Now 1.2 kilometres as Hayek starts to pull away. He's got 1.4 seconds over Bas Lemmers. Indeed, Patrick Hayek is the only driver to go under the 1 minute bracket. He's just done a 59.968, fastest lap of the race, and he's looking good to win the European Championship final here this afternoon. Lemmers, fastest first sector last time round, 4.5 laps remain. De Conto is the new European champion for 2017. He's looking at a podium here this afternoon. Kramer still holds P4, but he's 21 seconds off the podium. He has pulled away slightly from his countryman, Jorid Pex. Corberi, the Italian in the Tony Kart, still holds down P6. Puhaka, Carlton, and Jeremy Iglesias has also joined Jan Kobe and Stan Pex as retirements, with 3.5 laps now remaining. Patrick Hayek looking good for the win here this afternoon in the rain in southern Sweden. They tell me this is a good Swedish summer's day. Temperature-wise, we've barely seen more than 20 degrees, and the locals walking around in shorts and t-shirts saying it's quite warm. It's a lovely day. We did have a downpour during the driver's presentation. That weather has passed, but has left the track absolutely drenched. Patrick Hayek is not complaining, though. He's looking good for a win here this afternoon. The European Championship final, the final hit out before the KZ World Championships in Germany in 6 weeks' time. The number 2 Cosmic Kart, the team run by Olivier Marichal. World Championship winning team, most recently with Carol Bash at La Conca in KF back in 2015. Conto comes across the line. He's now 4 seconds. Further back, there is the Italian, the champion-elect going through. The number 4 CRG hasn't had an answer for the Sodi Kart or the Cosmic Kart here this afternoon, though the conditions may have something to do with that. There goes Kramer's through. Jorid Pex, Corberi, the number 18 Tony Kart, the driver from Brescia, just to the west of Lake Garda in northern Italy, holds down position number 6. Of course, he won the opening round of the European KZ2 Championship in 2016 at SA in France. Goes very, very deep under brakes, does the Italian, on the back of the Dutch driver. Wants to at least take home P5. He's got 2.5 laps to do it and get by the 2015 world champion, Jorid Pex. We go back to the front. Patrick Hayek, there's Lammers, has not given up, driving as hard as he can. He, in fact, took a 1/10 of a second out of Hayek last time round, but it will require a lot more than that. In fact, let's be honest, it will require an error from Hayek, and that's unlikely to happen. He will get the last lap board next time round. Going through the far part of the circuit now. You can see the standing water on the track here at Kristianstad in Sweden. Bridgestone wet tyres working overtime here this afternoon Lammers from Holland for the French Soddy Kart team, running in P2. He is closing in, but I think Hayek has got this one under control. He rounds the hairpin for the penultimate time, comes up the start-finish straight. The last lap board comes out for the Cosmic Kart. Lammers still wants to win this. You saw this. Head down behind the steering wheel, has not given up. Oh, he's actually taken 3/10 out of him. Surely he won't throw it away from here. Patrick Hayek, the number 2 Cosmic Kart, seems to have this one under control, but Lammers wants to win. This is the final lap of the race. DeConto still in P3. Quite a distance further back. Lammers closing right in on the back of the driver from the Czech Republic. Patrick Hayek, of course, won the Spanish round of the KZ Euro Champs at Zuera in Spain in 2016. Winner of the last 2 rounds of the WSK Supermaster Series to start the season. He rounds the hairpin for the final time, and he will win here this afternoon at Kristianstad in Sweden. Patrick Hayek from the Czech Republic. Finally someone has defeated Paolo DeConto in the 2017 season, but DeConto from Italy crosses the line in P3, and with that, he is the new European champion for 2017. Hayek won, Lammers second, DeConto, there is the Italian. Kart number 4, he was third. Kramer's the pole sitter. Let's be honest, he will be disappointed with that. He crosses the line in P4 and will look almost immediately to the World Championships in 6 weeks' time. Corberry just holds off the American Gary Carlton at the checkered flag then. So Hayek from the Czech Republic has won the final race of the year. DeConto will see him on the podium, but for the first time this year, it won't be the top spot. Another win for the Cosmic Racing Department in very trying conditions here in Kristianstad in southern Sweden. Hayek has won the final race of the Euro Champs for 2017. Lammers finishes second for Soddy Kart. P3 DeConto, and that will do it. He is the European champion for 2017 to go with his 2016 World Championship. Kramers was 4th, Puhaka P5, Jorit Peck 6th, and Luca Corberri just held off the American Gary Carlton on the line, 7th and 8th, not finishing Jeremy Iglesias, the Finn Jan Kirby, and Stan Pex. Commiserations to those 3. We'll see them in Wackersdorf in 6 weeks from now. We will see Patrick Hayek on the top step of the podium. We will hear the national anthem of the Czech Republic sound here in Sweden. Finally, someone has taken the fight to Paolo DeConto. I don't think he'll mind though. He has won the European Championship for 2017. Hayek, the final race of the Euro Series. You are watching the European Championship final round live on CIKFIA.tv. Don't go too far away though. In a few moments, we will have the junior final. The junior title will be decided. But before that, the podium presentation, which we will bring you live from Sweden in just a few moments. We await the drivers to make their way up from Park Ferme. We already knew coming into Sweden that Paolo Di Conto would be the champion, and third place here this afternoon has officially confirmed it. Finally, someone has beaten the Italian to the top step of the podium. Full credit to Patrick Hayek from the Czech Republic, who has taken the final win of the season for the European Series at least, before we go to the World Championships at Wackersdorf in Germany. In 6 weeks' time, Bas Lemmers, the Dutchman, gave it everything he could, but finished just a second behind the Cosmic Kart driver. We'll see them up here on the podium in a few moments' time. Of course, after this one, we will have the junior final. Finn Keneally from Great Britain is the reigning champion in the junior class. He will hold that title for another half an hour or so before he relinquishes it to one of his countrymen, either Harry Thompson or the championship leader, Johnny Edgar. They will go wheel to wheel here on a very wet circuit here in Kristianstad in a few moments' time. So we await for the podium presentation. The junior karts in Park Ferme make their way out onto the circuit. The rain has stopped. We've even actually got a little bit of sunshine, but the track is still very, very wet. The sixth and final round of the CIK FIA European Championships from here in Kristianstad, southern Sweden. A week after we raced at the Power Park circuit in Alaharma, Finland. What a spectacular event that was. The first time we were back in Finland at that very Alaharma circuit since 2003. And many of us hope we go back to that race again next year. That was sensational. And as always, it's great to be here in Scandinavia, here at Kristianstad in Sweden, a country with a long and distinguished career, or history, I should say, in motorsport. We await the drivers to make their way here to the podium. Well, that downpour before the driver's presentation has left the track wet. Certainly has messed up the order. And Patrick Hayek is probably quite thankful. Drivers making their way up to the podium as we speak, including the new European champion for 2017. Paolo Di Conto almost could apply for citizenship here in Sweden. He loves the place. He owns the place. He has dominated here over the past 12 months. The drivers, very, very wet. And what wouldn't they be after racing here this afternoon in very trying conditions? The final round of the KZ European Championships here at Kristianstad in Sweden. He didn't quite take the top spot, but third today was enough to claim his third European Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, third place in the race, but he is the new European champion. Let's hear it for Paolo Di Conto. He gave it everything he possibly could. The Dutchman for Soddy Kart, second place, Bas Lemmers. Finally, someone has beaten Paolo Di Conto in the European Series, the winner of the last round of the European Championships here in Sweden. From the Czech Republic for the Cosmic Racing Department, Patrick Hayek. And representing the winning team, Cosmic Racing Department, Olivier Marichal. As we stand by for the national anthem of the Czech Republic.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the podium for the final round of the European Championship. And with that, I would like to call on Mr. Christopher Lindberg, Secretary of the Swedish Karting Commission, to present the third place trophy to the new European champion, Paolo De Conto. Mr. Stefan Andersson, Chairman of the Board of the Swedish Karting Commission, to present the second place trophy to Holland's Bas Lemmers. And the Vice President of the CIK FIA, Mr. Kees van der Grint, to present the trophy to the race winner, Patrick Hayek. And Mr. Tobias Groth, Chairman of the Board of the Kristianstad Karting Club, to present the winning team's trophy to Olivier Marichal of the Cosmic Racing Department. As the girls step in with the flowers for Paolo, Bas, and Patrick. And we stand by for the champagne. As if Patrick wasn't wet enough already. The girls also to make the special presentation of the Avio Milano timepieces and the Panta fuel vouchers to Paolo, Bas, and Patrick. And we'll step in for a quick word with our drivers here this afternoon. Paolo De Conto, we saw you here last year, the top step, world champion here in Sweden. Third today, but it's good enough for the European Championship. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very happy for this race because I come here with the title, so I just to drive without penalty and everything. So I'm happy because now I drive with a rain condition and wet track. So now we know we have to find something for make more quick for Wackersdorf because they are more quick today, and I want to congratulate with them because they make an amazing race without error and everything. And I cannot I have not the speed today for win, so. Congratulations to them and see you in Wackersdorf.
Grazie Paolo, the new 2017 European champion. Bas Lemmers, it's not a bad year for you. WSK Supermaster Series champion, another podium in the European Championships.
Yeah, it is incredible to be here again on the podium. First, I would like to congratulate Patrick Hayek and Paolo De Conto with the podium as well. Also, I would like to say a big thank to Saudi Kart TM Racing for the engines. They did again an incredible job, and they are the one that put me a white chassis and engine to make me getting the podium again. So during the race it was a quite hard race because Patrick was really fast, but I saw he didn't go away, and I came closer, and then he went away again. So it was like an elastic. So anyway, I'm really, really happy to be on the podium, and once again, thank you very much, and it was a pleasure for me to be here in Kristianstad. The organization did a great job, so a big compliment to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bas, as ever, and Patrick Hayek. This is turning out to be a pretty good year for you also. Finally, you are the only driver that has beaten Paolo Di Conto in the European Championship. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's never easy to be in front of Paolo and Bas, but it's good to win the last race before the World Championship. I think it brings us a little bit more confidence for the last race. But it's a little bit shame that we were only 11 drivers. I think everybody could see, and I believe the CIKFIA will work hard to make it next year a little bit better. Anyway, I would like to thanks to the team because they make another amazing job, because in these conditions it's never easy to win, and I want to stay on the podium also in Wackersdorf, so we will work hard for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. This is our podium for KZ, the junior race, in just a moment. Welcome back to Kristianstad in Sweden. You've just seen the first of our 4 finals live this afternoon. And in a few moments' time, we will decide the Junior European Championship for 2017. It is likely, well, it almost certainly will go to an Englishman. Johnny Edgar leads the series. His closest rival, Harry Thompson, for Ricky Flynn Motorsport, will take the fight up to the Forza Racing Team driver. The only driver that can stop Edgar taking the title this afternoon is